Nice. We are recording.
Hello.
Now, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. So, yeah, it's cool. We are here to talk a little bit about Fiberplane CodeGen, what we have today, and what our or where we want to go with it. So, what's on our mind, what's on the roadmap, and yeah, I don't know how we kick best off. Maybe.
Well, maybe we Vibe Summer has started.
Yeah.
So we have a month long of hacking on various challenges and projects and products and services to use. And then, of course, use Fiberplane to CodeGen MCP servers.
Yes, that's actually the first challenge. So people just jumped straight away today into that. So people are on like building MCP servers.
Yeah.
I did see in the last hour, I saw 5 to 10 people already got cracking, have multiple projects open.
Ooh.
So maybe we can recap what we have today. What do we support? Maybe also a little bit on what we don't do. So you can log in and generate an MCP server. Could be ranging from weather APIs to to-do lists to personal CRMs, anything that you can think of. We allow you to pull in different dependencies. So I think on one of our shows called Call My Agent, we create an MCP server that generates podcasts based on your Git commits using 11 Labs. So 11 Labs is a library that you can pull in to do text to speech. What else do we support? I mean, one key thing is that it always generates a spec for you. Maybe Brett, you want to say something about that? Why that's a good idea and why
we're seeing it in a lot of places now, which is very validating. So like Kiro, is that
AWS? Yeah, AWS.
That always uses a spec. I think also the Bear Claude.
Yeah.
Yep.
From Spec Story. Yeah.
That's a hot new tool. So the philosophy behind that is it's kind of fun because you get a lot of people tinkering with the tools and then figuring out how they work best before studies catch up or anything like that. It's all vibes in the end. So yeah, the kind of knowledge we were going off of was that most people's powerful workflows started with an ideation phase with an agent, and they would actually do it outside of their IDE in order to suss out all of the edge cases of the project, just be clear on the data models, things like that, and then they would hand that spec over to a coding agent. So deliberately doing that in phases. So we took that to heart, and so our coding agent will kind of ask questions, poke at your idea before creating a spec, and then handing that over to a coding agent that has access to a knowledge base for building honk apps. And yeah, that's a little bit why that happens.
Yeah, you mentioned honk here, so it will always use the honk stack, which means Hono and a Cloudflare worker and Drizzle and the D1 database. Is D1 always included?
D1
not always.
Not always.
Okay.
Not if it doesn't. If it doesn't have to be, it won't be.
If you don't need a database,
yeah,
Okay,
you don't need a database.
Fair point.
Speeds up deploys. So if you don't need a database, it's actually quite nice because the deploys are very, very fast.
Yeah. Also something. Something that I just saw is we talked about it for a while. We have the Hono API playground, and that's also now included into the code generation platform. So if I go on preview, I'm also able to access it over the same UI that is in CodeGen, which is cool. So I don't have to select the endpoint anymore, but I just can do it straight from CodeGen. That's a nice way of interacting with API endpoints if it's not an MCP server.
It's true. I do personally. I still just ask the agent to make the request because I just tell it like pull in the spec and fire off a couple of requests, and then check your runtime logs if anything seems to have gone wrong.
Yeah, so maybe taking a minute on like, okay, so you've CodeGen something, you pulled in some dependencies. We allow you to deploy your MCP server. So it will be live on a URL. You can use the preview pane to sort of make requests or ask the agent to do that for you. And then I think the interesting bit is, right, if it's an MCP server, the agent can connect to it as well, like similarly how you would hook up Claude Desktop, Cursor for that matter, to an MCP server. Our chat interface itself is an MCP client as well.
Yeah, that's nice. You say we allow you to deploy. I think we almost always deploy, right? So
we enable you to deploy.
We enable. Well, CodeGen
it's sometimes very
often, just like who takes it and deploys. But it's cool. I mean,
it's excited. It will deploy.
This is I mean, so speaking of roadmap, that's like one thing I want to spend time on in August is those little tweaks to the agent's instructions. So like right now, I was talking to Nele earlier today because Nele wants to view the spec before going on, like have moments to
break, right?
Feedback on the spec. And sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't. And like to me, when I look at our system prompt, it's all about like we have one instruction that does say stop after creating the spec and make sure it's okay. But we have another instruction in there that's like be proactive, take
go
action,
fast,
like build. And so those two things, like that will confuse an LLM. And I want to get like, I feel like I've been playing with the tool enough where I kind of understand its like idiosyncrasies. And I want to start like revisiting the system prompt just to like start tweaking those things. But yeah, it's been kind of interesting.
Does it? So I've heard about this tactic as well. Like, does it make sense to have like different system prompts for different phases of development? So where you have, the spec having its own system prompt, and then sort of the development side, a different system prompt. Yeah,
we kind of like, ideally you want to keep it as simple as possible, I would say. So like your main agent has like its core workflow as part of the system prompt. Then you can cache that. And then you can like phase in other system prompt, like slot them in based on like where you are in the chat history. And actually we would probably want to do that when we do compacting. So like when the chat history gets very long, we're going to have to truncate what happened so we don't overwhelm the agent with too much context. And so like that would be that's like almost a form of compacting, I guess, which is just like take all this stuff that happened before and then like summarize it as this, you are past the point of writing a spec system prompt. Yeah.
So that's a bit on the any other improvements on the roadmap around the agent?
Oh, so many. I mean, like I think, the big goal is so I mentioned like it can take in runtime logs.
Right.
So we have a thing that can like own the development lifecycle end to end. It can like generate code. It can type check the code. It can deploy the code. It can test the code.
Observe.
Yeah, it can fire off API requests and it can check its runtime logs. And like those are all the ingredients for something that can work very autonomously and like for an extended period of time. So like, yeah, I think letting it loose and like freeing you up instead of like watching every single step that it does, freeing you up to do something else. That's
right.
Yeah.
So basically what you're describing is a little bit of like how deep research agents work, right? You give it a task, it might ask some follow-up questions, and then kind of goes off and does its thing, and you can get a coffee and your report is ready when you come back.
Yeah.
I do have a
bit more async. Bit more of an async workflow. Go. What's your question?
Because you said until the end of a life cycle, and maybe we don't have it on the roadmap, and that's fine. But I realized something. I have everything. The agent has access to the building logs. Will there be a feature that I can also delete my deployment if I decide not to have it live anymore?
Yeah, we have that ticket. I don't know when we do it, but yeah, spinning down a deployment. I think the only thing right now is it's just like if you like unset your environment variables if you have anything sensitive there, or just like add an API key that no one else can access.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe one more thing on deployments and roadmap. So we did make a big improvement to the deployment widget or UI, right? Where we now show you the individual steps as it processes. I think we do want to show maybe the logs that are attached to each step.
Yeah, I mean, we do kind of like we show kind of like we do, but they're not.
But not the raw logs.
No, not like what's actually executing
in
the machine that runs the steps. No.
Which maybe could be useful, could also be confusing.
Yeah, I'm a little. It looks cool. Like I don't know. First time I saw that work, I was like, oh, it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other maybe things around deployments, UI that we want to make them faster?
Make them faster. Definitely gonna make them faster. I think that's the main bit. I think a little bit on that front is more Cloudflare primitives. So probably I was supposed to ship this today, but I hit some. I'm still testing it. But Cloudflare AI that have that enabled by default on every single app. So then you don't have to bring, like right now, if you want to add an LLM, you need to bring your own API key. The benefit of Cloudflare AI is that it just works. It's just the response format's a little different. The models available are a little different. So still kind of tweaking what the default behavior should be for that to be good.
Which Cloudflare primitives do we have now out of the box besides the one? What would you say works well?
R2.
Yeah.
Object storage.
Cron triggers. I gotta be honest, like a lot of stuff that I've been building, I want a cron trigger. Yeah. I have that ticket somewhere. I don't have to unearth it.
So yeah, we covered agent functionality, deployments, bindings.
Yeah.
Anything else that we're thinking about?
Well, I mean, I think we briefly talked about it, Brad, about I don't know if it's like high priority or low, but about structuring the code. If you create something really, really big, you will end up probably with an index file and 1,000 lines of code. And I think you were thinking about like maybe we can do something to create more files and have a better coding structure. I don't know if there's something.
Yeah, I think this is part of a little bit of the agent work. So kind of letting it have a mini file system. I really want that, and then letting it kind of structure things how it sees fit. So splitting things out into multiple files, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it's going to take a couple of changes, but don't know if that's an August thing, but it's definitely a thing at some point.
Cool.
We did just ship file upload.
Yep.
With some
text files.
For text files. I'm going to say with some limitations.
Yep.
So that's the thing that has come up, that maybe people already have a spec or an open API JSON file describing their API. So being able to sort of attach that and have the agent use that for building its API or MCP server.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that we're thinking about?
I like to just bring something up, and that's not on our roadmap. I know that already.
Yeah, maybe talk about the things that are not on the immediate.
But I think it's good because maybe it's not immediately there, but I think it's around the editing the code. I think it's okay to use the chat. You can prompt everything in the chat if you want to, but as per now, and I feel I don't have a good answer to that because I'm sometimes just using the chat, but sometimes I do download the code and use the IDE. Is there any thinking how we envision that at the moment?
If Lau were here, he would say launch a remote VS Code debugger. What is it? That's the thing he loves saying. Just launch a remote VS Code session that you can hook
SSH into.
Yeah.
No, I think maybe good to call out, like doing an editor would mean that you need to save the files, right? Like it has a lot of implications. And there's obviously a bit of a thing around if we do allow you to eject, of course, by downloading the zip file of your project. But if you need to, the same with the GitHub sync, right? If you really need to hardcore eject, we've probably done something wrong in the product to some extent. So we'd like to make the product and the agent better first before having the sort of the off ramps there. I think that's a bit of our thinking.
Basically, it's an enormous engineering effort to get that right. And so long as there's the ability to like download the files as like the ultimate escape hatch, that like not having GitHub sync and not having a text editor forces us to make the thing work better.
Yes.
Which is a good motivation.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of forward-looking stuff that I'd be keen to explore, which we haven't, designed or talked a whole lot about yet. But I do think there's something around publishing your MCP server. So great, you can deploy it. But is there some kind of discovery mechanism for other people to use your MCP server?
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting to have a bit of a marketplace where people can take each other's MCP server for a spin.
Yeah, like forking or even, I mean, this is very forward-looking statement, but like, there was a great talk that like tool calls are the new clicks, and that as we move into a world where like people are spending more and more time actually in these like with their LLM instead of browsing the internet, that like the value of a click is significantly reduced, but the value of calling a tool from inside your LLM that does something for you is increased. And I do think, there's something to say there, which is like you create a high value MCP server to other people connect to, that you should be able to monetize it in the same way that people were monetizing blogs 20 years ago.
Maybe one additional super forward-looking statement.
Super forward-looking. That's where we've entered.
Is there something where you could attach your generated MCP server to some kind of agent and interact with it from within the product?
I don't think that's too forward-looking.
So wait, the agent would be in the product, or it's an agent that lives somewhere outside our product as well? Sorry, I have to ask that follow-up question.
It's an agent from within our product. Yeah.
An agent was okay, good.
Yeah. So I think we already talked a little bit about exposing the chat itself as an MCP server. Have we talked about that?
Yeah, it's all very meta.
Yeah, it's hard. I think what you're talking about, I'm so excited to like take a crack at this. It's a little bit like that's the world where like the interface to your MCP server also is an MCP client / agent, right? That's the thing that you were.
Yeah, exactly. Which we kind of course, support from within the creation chat.
Yeah.
Right. That's a MCP client.
Yeah.
With an LLM underneath.
Yep.
But it's obviously geared towards creating your MCP server in the first place, and not so much perhaps the use case that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. So I'd imagine this a little bit. Sorry, we're gonna hijack this. I imagine this is like you deploy an MCP server with /MCP, and then any client can like try to connect to that, go through the whole handshake, And it'd be almost like you flip a switch.
Maybe 1 minute, like a client would be like Cursor or Cloud Desktop, right? Like that's sort of those are the canonical examples that you would connect to your generated MCP server. Continue.
So, you tell Cursor, connect to the MCP server at /MCP. What Mies is talking about is like when you deploy that server, you can flip a switch and we'll also attach an agent at like /MCP AI, which speaks the server protocol so that a client can attach to it. But its tools are more like agential, and they're backed by an LLM that can decide how to respond. And that would be super easy to configure. And then it in turn can proxy to the tools that you just built. But it can do fancier stuff, like there's something called elicitation that came out in the past month with the MCP spec, which is where like the server can actually ask for more information from the client. So Cloud Desktop might invoke a tool, like look up yogurts on sale. This is I was asking my girlfriend for app ideas the other day, and she was like, "I'm sorry,
yogurt on sale."
She's like, "We're eating food, so I'm only thinking of things food related." She's like, "I just want to know which grocery store has my favorite yogurt on sale during the week." And I was like, "Yeah,
that's a good use case."
Yeah. And so imagine that Cursor. Why are you asking this in Cursor? We'll say Claude Desktop.
I mean Claude.
Claude Desktop. Sees the tool available, like find yogurts on sale, but then the MCP AI is a little bit more dynamic, and you can go, okay, yeah, but I need to know which
brands.
Yeah, which brands.
What are your favorite brands? What's your define sale?
Define sale. Is it just this like 10 cents off nonsense?
Yeah. Is it two for one, or 40% off? Have the yogurts already expired?
Are they fresh?
That kind of sale. But yeah, that's an exciting, I think, area.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Should we do a little recap? Because I feel like we went all over.
Yeah. I think we talked about making the agent better itself, the coding or the Fiberplane agent, right? Across creation, deployments, debugging, the entire lifecycle. So that's on the roadmap, but which will result in better vibes, I guess.
Better vibes.
Yeah.
Better vibes.
What else we talked about? That's sort of relatively immediate.
Yeah, I think very
ongoing.
Support for Cloudflare AI binding.
Yeah, more bindings.
Yeah. Also, obviously, like better support for Google Generative AI coming too. Didn't mention that yet, but it's imminent.
Something around speed, right?
Yep.
Deployments.
Faster deployments, better logs.
I feel like. You mentioned the agent, like not fighting against the one and the other prompt. You want to work on that, right? So that was also something on your list.
Yeah.
System prompt.
Just kind of tweaking the system prompt a little bit. And I think there was
talk a little bit about like discovery, publishing of MCP servers.
Yeah,
something to be done there.
Before that, I would wager by the end of the month we have
July still has
no.
It's one more day.
It's August in my mind. By the end of August, we have something that allows you to interface with the product via an MCP client. So connect to Fiberplane itself via an MCP client. So Cloud Desktop connects to Fiberplane, and then you can actually create stuff or connect to other things through Fiberplane.
And probably more off. I think more off providers, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. So we do support. We talked about this on the show, where we added better off. But Fiberplane itself is now an OAuth provider, so you can log in with Fiberplane to authenticate against your MCP server. But we'll be adding GitHub as an OAuth provider.
To be fair, like it would work now. You just need to prompt it in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so making that experience a little smoother, I think, is just, yeah. Cool.
Cool. I think we discussed a lot. Maybe we can finish this with everyone's favorite yogurt flavor, because we also talked about yogurt a lot. Brad, what is your favorite yogurt flavor?
Well, okay. I mean, are we talking? I'm just going to interpret the question how I see fit. I'm not going to do elicitation. I'm just going to answer the question that I wish was asked. I like full fat Greek yogurt with like a nice honey and roasted salted almonds and chopped grapes.
That sounds good
Wow.
to me.
Yep.
I'll have one. I'll have one of those. I'm very easy on. I usually like a bit low fat, not the full fat yogurts.
I stick to my coconut yogurt, I think. So
That's nice.
Coconut yogurt, solid. Yep.
I can't do a lot of like flavors. Coconut is up there, but I think anything else becomes tricky for me.
Oh, and well, okay. Also, close second, like yogurt with mulberries. Love me a good mulberry.
Okay, and I think with this we can end and see the next time when we record.
Yeah.
Really, I could go on. I could keep going. 5, 10.
Yogurt roadmap.
We eat a lot of yogurt in this household, so I got a lot to say.
Separate show.
I stopped the show.
Yeah.